everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea and I am here for another declutter. So today we're gonna declutter face palettes. Now, do not regard my face, okay? I literally was testing out 2 different foundations and I just tried to even it out so I can get on here and say, hey, welcome you to my video. If this is your first time here, I just wanna say thank you so much for clicking on my video. I normally look a little bit more put together than this, but this is a declutter and I am not getting full face beat for a declutter. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. And if you are a returning subscriber, of course, I'm always so appreciative of every comment, every like, and for you just constantly supporting my channel and being there for me on this journey and this world of makeup and YouTube. So let's just get right into this video. Here is my Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Glowgasm face palette, and I have mine in the shade Lovegasm. This came out earlier this year, and I absolutely adore this palette. As you can see, it is very much well loved, so for sure keeping this. And then, I'm just gonna tell y'all right now, I don't know how successful this will be because I really do like a lot of my face palettes. So this is the Natasha Denona. This is the Tan Bronze and Glow palette, and I absolutely love this palette as well. I did do a full review on this, but for me, this shade right here works very well as a bronzer, and then I use the others as a highlight. But yes, that's a love. This is the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette, and I swear by this. I actually just filmed a favorites of the entire year, and this blush palette made it in there. Look at that, just stunning. So she's a keeper. And then this is not necessarily a face palette, but I store this with my face palettes. So this is the Morphe Makeup Bronze. What is this? The Morphe Glamour Bronze Bronzer in Megastar. And this one is nice, but I didn't really use it a lot. And I don't know. Let's put this in the maybe pile. Here we have the Morphe blush palette, and this is in 8W. So this is the warm blush palette, and this one is really, really pretty. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got this last year, like actually a year ago, almost to the date, and I love every shade in this palette. So she's a keeper. So this is the LA Colors I Love Makeup Contour Palette, and this brings back so many nostalgic memories. This was the first contour palette I ever bought, and I bought it like right after I started my channel in 2016. So in theory, I feel like I need to declutter it, but I kind of want to keep it. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. Okay, so this is not a face palette, but I store this with my face palettes. This is my Tom Ford Blush Duo in the shade Paradise Lust, and she's obviously a keeper. This is so gorgeous. Did I pay full price for this? Absolutely not. I got this at the Estee Lauder outlet store, and that is the only reason why I bought it, but I'm so keeping it. Okay, I got this last year. So this is the NARS, what is this called? This is a limited edition palette. So this is the NARS Orgasm Infatuation palette, and I got this last August. Oops, took a while to get here. So you've got the bronzer in the shade Laguna, and then the Orgasm blush, and then this is the Orgasm highlight. I love this palette, and I need to use it. I haven't used it really this fall winter, but I'm not giving it away because I love it. Y'all, this is not successful. I have not decluttered anything yet. Okay, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow palette in the deep shade, and not getting rid of this. This bronzer is really nice. It is a more like glowy bronzer, and I really like this highlight, so not gonna declutter it. But I will say I don't think it's worth the money, if I'm being honest. Okay, here's the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Palette. This is in the shade Dolce de Leche, and although I really do like this, I don't use it anymore. This contour shade actually does show up on me. So if you're around my complexion and you've been interested in this, I actually liked this contour powder. I didn't really use the banana shade, so I will declutter this. Just because I don't wear it anymore, and I have other contour powders that I like. This is the Marc Jacobs Fantastic Omega Bronze, and this is a bronzer that I'm going to keep because I paid $50 for it, but I do not think it's worth the money in my opinion. It's a nice bronzer. This shade actually does show up on me, but I would never purchase another one of these bronzers for this price. In my opinion, the formula is really nice, but it's just not worth it, but I'm gonna keep it because I do like it and I paid a lot of money for it. This is a recent purchase for me, the Too Faced Sugar Peach palette, the Wet and Dry Face and Eye palette. And when I say I swear by this, absolutely adore every shade in this palette. So she's definitely a keeper. And I love the smell of it. It smells so good. Then we have my absolute favorite palette, the BH Cosmetics Glowing and Grease palette. You already know this one's a keeper. She's not going anywhere and she's very much well loved. Love every shade in this palette. If you don't have this palette, this is one palette where I say you need to just get it. Just go ahead and get it. Look at this. This is the Jaclyn Hill and Becca face palette. And this is obviously limited edition. I don't want to blind y'all. But I'm so keeping this palette. I don't really use it much. And it's not because I don't like it. I think it's mainly because I just don't think to use it. But I love every shade in this palette, and they look really pretty on the skin, so she's definitely a keeper, especially because it was limited edition. Here is the Juvia's Place, the Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette, and this palette is very pretty, but I hardly reach for it. I'm really thinking about decluttering this one because I really don't reach for it. And the only shade that I really like in this palette is Sola. The rest of the shades, I'm gonna declutter this one. So here's the Milani Intense Bronze Glow Face and Bronze Powder. I'm gonna declutter it. This is pretty, but it doesn't, so that's the highlight. Sorry, I'm not flicking y'all off. That's the highlight. It's nice, but it takes a lot to pick up on your brush. And I think it's because the powder is so packed within the pan that it's just not an easy highlight to put on your brush. And then the shade is very, very, very gold. So even against my complexion, it's almost too deep. So I'm gonna see if one of my girlfriends wants this one. Here I have the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I really do like this. I think I like this more so for nostalgic purposes. Like when I first got into makeup, this palette was all the rave. Everybody loved this palette. But I think I'm gonna declutter her. I kind of don't want to declutter her just because it's like a nostalgic piece, but I literally don't use it, so we will declutter. Here is my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. This is volume 3. So this was released winter, holiday 2017. And I really do enjoy this palette. And yeah, this bronzer does not show up on me. So whenever I do use it, I just use it more as like a bronzer topper because it does have like a bit of a sheen to it. Yeah. But it doesn't show up on me as an actual bronzer. But I do use both of these shades like as a finishing powder, and that's a highlight that does show up on me. It's a very subtle highlight. Yeah, just very subtle highlight. But yeah, I really do like this palette. Here's a Hard Candy, what is this? The Just Glow Highlighting Palette, and I'm going to declutter this for sure. I just really don't like the majority of the shades in this palette. I think I liked these two, and that was it. These are like cream products, and no ma'am. We're just gonna have to go ahead and put that over here. No, no, and no. This is the Becca times Chrissy Teigen face palette, and when I say this is like one of my favorite palettes, as you can see, I got so much love out of this. So I love that bronzer shade. This is one of my favorite highlights that I own. This is in Beach Nectar, and so pretty. So she's a keeper. And I think I think this is still available. If you can still get it, I would say get it. This is a palette that I got a ton of use of, and I still get a lot of use of. And then last but not least, we have the Morphe Highlight and Contour Palette 8H High 5 palette. And this is very pretty. As you can see, I got a lot of love out of this one. If you watched my recent blush, bronzer, and highlight declutter, I decluttered the individual shade of Debutante because it was in this palette. And as you can see, oh, I don't want to blind y'all. As you can see, I've used that shade a lot. These highlights are so, let me swatch them real quick for you so you can see. They are like blinding highlights. Did I get enough on this one? Yeah. I think I just re-swatched the same shade, but they're so, so pretty. I love every shade in this palette. These palettes are good. These Morphe face palettes are really good. Like I said, the blush palette, the warm one is good, and then that one is good. Okay, so I only have a 2 to review in my maybe pile. I think I'm going to just get rid of this one. I don't want to, just for nostalgic purposes, but I don't use it, and you know, I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, if I'm not using it, then I need to get rid of it. So we're gonna declutter that, and then for this Morphe bronzer, I'm gonna declutter it. I literally don't use it. It was nice though, but I'm gonna declutter it. See if somebody I know wants it. So in terms of what we're getting rid of, this is what we're getting rid of. So we're getting rid of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 palettes, and I'm keeping these. So this is what I'm keeping. Not my most successful declutter, but a declutter is a declutter. And I think what this says about me is that maybe I don't overdo it on face palettes. I typically just try to buy face palettes that I like. So yeah, that's it, guys. I know this one's not as long as my other ones, but hey, my next one will be my eyeshadow declutter, and trust, that will be long because I got a lot of eyeshadow palettes. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope to see you, yep, you, right there, you, in my very next video. Bye, guys.